ARMY shocked. Taehyung suddenly appears at Hyoshin's concert. His aura instantly steals the spotlight. Hello ARMY. Welcome back to BTS fans channel. This time, I don't want you to just watch. I want you to truly step into this moment. Feel the atmosphere, hear every second, and understand why one presence can change everything. Because what happened that night was not just something ordinary. It was a moment that only lasted a few minutes. But the impact felt far beyond that. The night began quietly. Hyoshin's concert unfolded just as expected. The stage lights slowly lit up, creating a warm atmosphere that embraced the entire venue. The sound of the audience was soft, full of anticipation, yet controlled. And when Hyoshin started singing, everything turned magical. His voice, deep, emotional, and incredibly sincere. Every note felt like a story. Every lyric, like a message that went straight to the heart. The audience fell silent. Some closed their eyes. Some held their light sticks tightly. Everyone was completely immersed in the music. No one expected that in the middle of that atmosphere, something unexpected would happen. On one side of the venue, among rows of neatly seated audience members, there was one figure who at first didn't stand out. Dressed simply, sitting calmly, looking at the stage, with an expression that was hard to describe. It was Taehyung. No announcement. No excessive security. No cameras deliberately focusing on him. He came, like an ordinary person. And maybe, that's what made this moment feel so different. Because for a moment, Taehyung was not V from BTS. He was just Kim Taehyung. A music lover. Someone who came to feel, not to be seen. But the world never truly lets him be ordinary. Someone noticed him. Maybe just for a second. Maybe just because he looked familiar. But that glance turned into certainty. And within seconds, whispers began to spread. Wait, that's Taehyung. Seriously. He's here. The energy around instantly changed. Not chaotic. Not loud. But more alive. People started glancing. Some tried to confirm. Others stayed quiet but couldn't stop looking. And in the middle of it all, Taehyung remained the same. Calm. Focused. Fully present for the music. He wasn't disturbed. He didn't try to hide. But he also didn't seek attention. As if he was saying without words, I'm here, just to enjoy. Yet, that very attitude made him stand out even more. Because in a world where everyone wants to be seen, Taehyung chose to feel. And people could feel it. There was one moment that later went viral. When Haishin delivered an emotional high note. A fan camera accidentally captured Taehyung's face more clearly. No exaggerated expression. No dramatic reaction. Just a focused gaze. And a small smile, almost invisible. But that's exactly where something felt different. That wasn't an idol's reaction. That wasn't an expression for the public. It was a human reaction from someone truly moved. And ARMY fell in love all over again. Social media exploded. Short clips spread everywhere. Comments flooded endlessly. Why does he look so peaceful? Why is his aura so different tonight? He's not even doing anything, so why can't I stop looking at him? And the biggest question kept appearing. How can someone shine without even trying? Some fans started analyzing deeper. They talked about the way Taehyung sat. The way he slightly nodded to the rhythm. The way he occasionally took a deep breath, as if absorbing every note. Small things that might go unnoticed if it were someone else. But because it was Taehyung, everything felt meaningful. And that's where his uniqueness lies. He doesn't create moments with grand actions. He creates moments with his presence. Someone even wrote, Taehyung never tries to be the center of attention. Yet somehow, the world always finds a way to pause and look at him. And maybe that's not a coincidence. Because there's something in him that cannot be fabricated. Something he didn't learn, didn't practice, didn't plan. It's simply who he is. The night went on. Haishin delivered an incredible performance. Perfect high notes, deep emotions, and an audience completely absorbed in every second. But on the other side, the story of Taehyung kept growing. Some said his presence made the atmosphere warmer. Some felt the concert became more special without knowing why. And maybe they were right. Because sometimes, the presence of someone genuine can change the energy of a place. Without sound, without spotlight, without effort. And as the concert came to an end, as the final song was sung, and applause filled the venue, Taehyung was still sitting there, finishing the moment until the very end. Not rushing to leave. Not trying to exit early. As if he wanted to fully appreciate every second that had just happened. And that made people respect him even more. Because despite his fame and busy life, he still makes space to be human, to enjoy, to feel, to be fully present. And when he finally stood up and slowly left the venue, there was no chaos, no drama, but his presence remained. People kept talking about him. Videos continued to spread. And one thing became very clear. Taehyung doesn't need a stage to be a star. Because he himself is the light. And maybe that's why he is so deeply loved. Not just because of his visuals. Not just because of his voice. Not just because of his talent. But because of his authenticity. Because in a world full of image and expectations, he remains real. So ARMY, after seeing all of this, after feeling this story, what do you think? Was this just a simple moment? Or is this yet another reminder that Taehyung has something deeper? Something not everyone has. Write your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget, wherever he goes, even without doing anything, Taehyung always manages to leave a story. Not the kind written in headlines. Not the kind that demands attention. But the kind that lingers quietly. In the way people suddenly pause, without realizing why. In the subtle shift of atmosphere. As if something soft yet powerful just passed by. He doesn't need grand gestures. He doesn't need to prove anything. Because somehow, his presence alone is enough to create a moment people remember. A glance, a small smile, even silence. And suddenly, it becomes something meaningful. Something that stays long after he's gone.